They say he lies dreaming, deep beneath the waves, in a city of impossible angles. A slumbering horror, waiting for the stars to align. What happens when humanity stumbles upon the whisper of his name? What happens when the world learns the truth of Cthulhu? This is a warning. This is the Call of Cthulhu. Welcome back, brave voyagers into the void, to the great Lovecraftian anais. Wime, Amin. Today, we're not just telling a story. We're peeling back the veil on one of the most iconic and terrifying entities in all of cosmic horror, Cthulhu. Our journey begins with a mystery, a seemingly unconnected series of events that will converge into a revelation that could shatter your world. Our tale unfurls through the eyes of Francis Wayland Thurston, an old man sorting through the papers of his recently deceased great-uncle, Professor George Gammell Angel of Brown University. What Thurston discovers is not just a collection of academic notes, but a disturbing collection of artifacts and manuscripts that hint at a vast, global conspiracy and an ancient, unspeakable horror. Among his uncle's papers, Thurston finds a peculiar bas-relief, a small, intricate sculpture crafted by an art student named Henry Anthony Wilcox. The sculpture depicts a monstrous entity, a mix of octopus, dragon, and human caricature, with a sprawling alien city in the background. Wilcox claimed to have dreamed of this creature and city during a period of intense, shared global delirium. This period of delirium, Thurston learns, swept across the world in March 1925. Sensitive individuals, artists, poets, and mystics suffered from horrific nightmares, visions of cyclopean cities, and a strange, guttural chant that echoed in their minds. Funglui magluanaf Cthulhu Relaya, Wugahnagal Fatan. In his house at Relaya, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming. Professor Angel had been collecting accounts of this global madness, noting a disturbing pattern. The sheer consistency of the nightmares, the shared imagery, and the identical chants were too much for mere coincidence. He had even found reports of strange, widespread cult activity, with people engaging in bizarre, non-human rituals, driven by the shared visions. Thurston's investigation deepens, taking him down a rabbit hole of hidden lore. He discovers police records from New Orleans detailing a raid on a swamp cult. This cult, led by a man named Legrasse, worshipped an ancient dark deity represented by a similar, monstrous idol. The cultists spoke of great old ones who came from the stars, slumbering in deep places, waiting for the stars to be right to awaken and reclaim the earth. They spoke of Cthulhu. The New Orleans police had arrested the cultists, but the experience had deeply unnerved them. They described the cultists' rituals as involving unearthly guttural sounds and chants that instilled a primal, sanity-blasting fear. The idol itself, described as an octopus, a dragon, and a caricature of humanity, was identical to the one sculpted by Wilcox. The connection was undeniable. But the most terrifying piece of the puzzle comes from the account of a Norwegian sailor named Gustaf Johansen. His diary, translated by Thurston, describes a harrowing ordeal on the high seas. Johansen was second mate on the schooner Emma when it was caught in a fierce storm and forced off course. They stumbled upon a strange derelict yacht called the Alert, crewed by a group of desperate, crazed individuals. After a brutal confrontation, Johansen's crew defeated the Alert's madmen. But then, an even stranger fate awaited them. The storm had left behind not just rough seas, but a bizarre, oily island that had risen from the depths. This was no ordinary island. It was a massive cyclopean city of black, slimy stone, its architecture violating every known law of geometry. Johansen described hideous gateways and monstrous doorways. This was Herlaya. As Johansen's surviving crew explored this nightmare city, they encountered the source of the global delirium, the cultists' worship, and the terror of the universe. From within one of the colossal gateways, Cthulhu himself emerged. Lovecraft describes Cthulhu as a being beyond human comprehension. A monster of vaguely anthropoid outline, but with an octopus-like head whose face was a mass of feelers. A scaly, rubbery-looking body, prodigious claws on hind and forefeet, and long, narrow wings behind. He was immense, an unthinkable horror that radiated pure madness. The sheer sight of Cthulhu drove Johansson's crew insane. One man disintegrated into a gibbering wreck, but Johansson, in a desperate act of suicidal courage, decided to ram the alert into the colossal entity. He steered the schooner directly into Cthulhu's gelatinous form. Miraculously, Johansson's attack seemed to work. Cthulhu's form was briefly reabsorbed, liquefying and then reforming, as if physics itself was just a suggestion to him. The city of Rulea began to sink back into the ocean depths, and Johansson, the sole survivor, barely escaped. He recorded his experiences in his diary, only to die mysteriously soon after reaching port. Thurston, having pieced together the full, terrifying narrative, understands the horrifying implications. Cthulhu is not truly dead. He merely lies dreaming, waiting. The stars being right refers to a specific cosmic alignment when Arlia can rise and Cthulhu can stir. The global delirium, the cults, the dreams. These are all echoes of his psychic presence, a mental call to humanity, urging them to awaken him. The terror lies not just in Cthulhu's existence, but in his utter indifference. He is an alien god, beyond good and evil, capable of annihilating humanity with a mere thought. The cultists, driven by his subconscious whispers, are merely instruments of a cosmic inevitability. Thurston ends his account with a chilling realization. He now possesses forbidden knowledge. He knows too much. And in the vast, uncaring cosmos, ignorance is often bliss. He hints that he himself might not live much longer, a victim of Cthulhu's psychic reach, or perhaps the cultists who seek to protect their master's secrets. The great old ones are out there, and one day the stars will be right again. So, what do you think? Does Cthulhu truly exist, merely dreaming beneath the waves? Or is this just a masterfully crafted work of fiction designed to tap into our deepest, most primal fears? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you felt a shiver down your spine, hit that like button. Subscribe to The Great LoveCraftian for more terrifying tales. And don't forget to ring the notification bell. Until next time, remember, the universe is larger and far more terrifying than you could ever imagine.